the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, good Tuesday evening, race fans. Welcome to the Dirt Racing Network's live coverage of the PRO Sidewinder Dirt Racing Series Pro Late Models. I55 Federated Auto Parts Speedway. Drivers getting in some practice laps. 14 Pro Late Model drivers have checked in for this one. Drivers getting some time on the track, figuring out how the setup is going to feel as the track starts to change. They will come out and do a little track maintenance between this session and qualifying. We'll take a quick look at our points right now. Your overall points leader, the old girly man himself, Josh Gerlach. The 71 car, he's right there bouncing it off the turn one wall. Has a 4-point lead over Joe Reuter, the car that we were showing you when we broke in. Things kind of changed after the sprint car race last week. Just a little bit, put Gerlach in front on the overall. And then Gerlach leads by 6 in that sprint car series after last week's race at here at I55 with a lot of drivers having a bunch of problems. Joe Reuter's only 8 points back. Trevor Hinker 12, and then Nick Cohan is 44 points back in that. And taking a look at tonight's drivers, Garrett Boyd, the 21 car, has a scant 8-point lead over Joe Reuter, 12 over Josh Gerlach, 23 over Nick Cohan, and 26 over Robert Lynn. So very tight points races in all 3 series and in your overall. Things can change if your fortunes get just a slight bit messed up on one of these tracks. That'll change everything if you're one of the guys at the top. You could be looking up again instead of looking down at everybody. race here this week. They will be off next week, and then they will come back with, I think, 5 straight races to wrap everything up for the season, crown a couple 3 champions. And they will get ready to start working on 2022 Season 2 stuff for these guys. So, just a couple of minutes, and that is going to give us just enough time. The drivers are getting ready to get called off the track for us to have our opening ceremony. So, Mr. Public Announce Addresser, please take it away.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
And now, please welcome Pastor Sam Foley from Port Orange, Florida, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Father, we ask today that you protect and bless those who participate in this race. May they use good sportsmanship and respect for each other. And we'll thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, big thank you to the Foley boys. We are back just in time for qualifying to get started. Guys, don't be afraid to say hello in the chat. Doesn't matter if you're on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Even Trovo, I can see your chat. If you are on Facebook, come by the Dirt Racing Network's Facebook page. Like, share, and follow. And like, share, and follow. If you're over on YouTube, Twitch, or Trovo, hit subscribe. You know, every time we go live 5 nights a week. Right now, watching the overall points leader, Josh Gerlach. Gerlach quickest, 12:14 on the fresh track. The Jabroni timing in a second right now, 12:18. Ready to go and watch. Garrett Boyd's first lap, 12:17. So second quick. He comes off 4 for the final time. Goes under the stand. Nothing new. 12:22 that time. Trevor Hinker was quickest in practice. We'll see what he can do in qualifying. 24 car this time out of 3 and 4. And Hinker, 12:21, so a little bit slower than he was in his practice session. Puts the time down for lap number 2. Not really an improvement. In fact, he slowed down a full 10th. As we are going to go watch Bill Coy. Coy scored in the 63 car, but won on the side of it and got the old tail wag going out of 3 and 4. 13:07 for Coy. And the old tail wag again. He's got a loose problem in turns 3 and 4. I think in 1 and 2 as well. Just a loose exit problem from the center out. That car very untidy. Ryan Williams. Williams 10th quick, and he's got the same problem that Coy's got. Car gets up, Rolls over on the bars, and that time looked a lot better than it did going through 1 and 2. He must have known we put the camera on him. So everybody but John Borst has timed in. Going to be a quick one tonight. Couple of heats and then a few minutes of warm-up. We're going to get to the feature. 40 laps for you tonight when we get to the AMA. I see Cody Terry in the chat. What's up, you ugly mug, you? How are things at the Hillbilly High Banks this evening? And where's Timo Tim at? All right, it looks like qualifying is over. We'll get ready for heat number 1 on the pole. Your defending 360 Sprint Car Series champion, the 05 of Casey Miller. And on the outside of him in the 24, Trevor Hinkert. The jabroni, Nick Chambron, will start the 01 car on the inside of row number 2 next to his teammate, the 71, Josh Gerlach. Ryan Bueller will start the 07 on the inside of row number 3, and Anthony DeBarro in the 27 will start next to him, and then we'll see Bill Coy fill in the 7th and a final starting spot. Texas Roadhouse. Man, what happened to Cupies? I mean, come on now.
Green, green, green.
Green flag in the air. Heat race number 1 underway. The drivers got around there pretty quick. I was looking at something else, trying to make sure I wasn't going to miss anything, and almost missed the start for you. Lap 1. Heat 1's going to go to Casey Miller. Hinker was second. Gerlach, Chambron, Bueller, DeBarro. DeBarro getting a little side door action there as Bueller slammed it on him going through 1 and 2. Miller still out in front. Hinker trying to give chase. Hinker trying to hold off Gerlach. Gerlach, your quick qualifier this evening. They are all trying to chase down the 05 car of Casey Miller. Miller really a sprint car ace, but he has started to improve as the season has rolled on. You saw that car getting a little chattery going through the center of the corner. That opens the door. Hinker showed him the nose on the inside. Miller just puts a little more power to it. Now he is starting to get away again. Coming around to 4 to go this time. Top 3 have broken away from 4th place Ryan Bueller, but it is a 3-car battle from 4th back through 6th. The jabroni back there trying to hang on. We're going to go back, watch the front. 3 laps to go. They tick off quick. These guys run a 12:36. All right, now as Hinker shows the nose again to Miller. Miller up the hill, contact that time, moves Miller out of the way. Gerlach cuts the car down to try to stay off and see if he can avoid any kind of contact, and that allows DeBarro and Bueller to close up. So now Gerlach's got his hands full with his teammate in the 27 as we're on the white flag lap. And Trevor Hinker, it looks like he's going to win heat number 1. Miller will be second. Who's going to be third? It looks like DeBarro. Then Gerlach, Bueller, Chambron, and Coy. All right, heat 2 on the front stretch. Going to be Nick Cohan, the 21 on the pole. Joe Reuter in the 20 on his outside. Your second row, the 2 car, Robert Lynn inside. Your points leader in the series in the 21 car, Garrett Boyd, will start position number 4. Third row, the 063 of Ryan Williams on the inside. The 003 of Robert Mueller on his outside. And shotgun this time on the field, the 86 of John Borst. So green flag in the air, heat number 2. You guys waste no time getting after it. Cohan's going to grab the early lead. He should get lap 1 in the books. Reuter in hot pursuit. Then Robert Lynn slides across in front of Garrett Boyd. Boyd will go to the bottom. Track looks best right through the middle right now. That's where Lynn is at. That time Reuter went after Cohan. He didn't quite get there. Might have been just a tick of contact. Now Reuter settles in. Lynn holding off Boyd on the high side. Those two made contact down the front stretch. Now Lynn's got a problem. He loses the back end of the car in 1 and 2. Boyd goes by into 3rd. Lynn is still 4th. Ryan Williams is in 5th. Then John Borst and Robert Bueller. They're going to get back towards the front. I do not think Reuter is done with Cohan. He's just trying to figure out where the best spot is. And Boyd's got his hands full. Robert Lynn not giving up onto that challenge for 3rd. If we had enough cars to transfer from heats, the top 3 are the only 3 that would normally go. Everybody else would have to fight their way in. And right now, Boyd has the nose on the inside of Reuter going in to turns 3 and 4. Not able to do anything on the exit as the car started to tighten up. And he had to roll out. Going to be 2 to go this time out of 3 and 4. Cohan right through the middle, hanging on to the lead. Reuter starting to fall off the bumper now. White flag in the air for Nick Cohan. He's got one more circuit, and he's going to pick up the win. And he will do just that in heat number 2. Joe Reuter is 2nd, Garrett Boyd 3rd, Robert Lynn, Ryan Williams, John Borst, and Robert Bueller rounding out the field. So heat racing action already in the books this evening. Boys will have a few minutes to get out here and work on the show. We're going to have a B main. We're going to have a B main just for grins and nothing else. These guys racing for their final starting spot. So let's get to showing you the starting lineup. It'll be Gerlach on the pole with Lynn outside. Bueller on the inside of row 2 next to Ryan Williams. Nick Chambrone and John Borst in row 3. Robert Mueller and Bill Coy in row number 4. Should be about 12 laps for this. They are just racing for their final starting spot in tonight's A main. And your front row looks like they're going to swap spots. Inside and out.
Green, green,
Green
green.
flag in the air. B main underway. Oh, pile up back here. Bueller got turned sideways. He's going to be okay. Let's go see what happened to him. Second ready to go green. He started inside row number 2, and I think Chambrone, and he got together down in 1 and 2. He's pushing Lynn into the corner. And Chambrone went in and gave him a push. Oh, now spinning out back here on the backstretch. So he'll get the car out of the way. Gerlach, Williams, Lynn, Borst, and Chambrone right up under Borst back in. Now goes for the slider. Really spun the car, and he knocked Borst into the outside wall with the right rear corner. Bueller now trying to get by the 3 wide. Number 01. Of Nick Chambrone, and Chambrone just fighting the car on the exits. Mueller working off the bottom side, got up to the door, couldn't do anything with the momentum. Gerlach still out in front, but Ryan Williams has run him down, and now it looks like he's going to make a challenge out of it to win tonight B main. Gerlach spanking it off the fence. Does it again down the front stretch. AlwaysRaceDay.com, number 71. None the worse for the wear, that's for sure. Borst and Bueller have both taken their cars to pit road. Bill Coy back here. Now he spins the one car as we put the camera on him as your leaders were coming. Well, this time Williams going to have a good shot as Gerlach had to get off of his line. And that gets the car alongside. He led that lap. 2 to go. Making a lap and a half now. Still side by side. Williams trying to get the 63 up the hill. He went up there on the slider line. Didn't work. Gerlach took it back. Now Gerlach goes for the slider. Williams is going to cross over down the hill, down the backstretch. Gerlach banks it off the fence. That might open the door and seal the deal as Williams is going to come up and win tonight's B-Main. Gerlach second. Lynn in third. Chambrone, Mueller, Coy, Borst, and Bueller rounding things out. So now warm-up session. And we're going to take a couple of minutes here and pay a bill or two. When we come back, never know. We might have a driver interview or we might just watch the rest of practice. All right, coming back just in time. The drivers line up the front stretch. They will roll off. I know there's going to be a little bit of an invert here, so we will kind of pay attention to that as the drivers start to roll away. There's only 14 of them. Yeah, just waiting on that 21 car to fall into place. When they roll off, they will start lining things up. And they will get it back to where it's supposed to be so we can kick it off at green. There goes Miller. So it looks like Miller will be on the pole. Reuter to his outside. Then Cohan and Hinker in row 2. Boyd and DeMauro next to each other, row 3. And if you were here a 3 weeks ago, you saw those two get together at USA. So starting side by side, going to be interesting for them. Williams and Gerlach, row 4. Lynn and Mueller, row 5. Coy and Borst in row 6. And Bueller and Chambrone making up the rest of the field. So we should be getting ready to go green here. Out of 4, we do just that. Casey Miller goes right to the top side. Now, there goes your points leader.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Let's go see. I don't know if Hinker was in this or not, but I got him on the target. Oh, there was a clip right there as Boyd went across. DeBarro got him. That turned him into Hinker. That shakes things up just a little bit. Looks like everybody's going to be able to drive them away. But it will change the running order drastically. Miller, Reuter, Cohan, Hinker, DeBarro, Lynn, Boyd. Boyd up to 6 now as Lynn goes back behind him. Then Williams comes around as well, so move Lynn back to 8. Gerlach in front of Mueller. Gerlach in front of Lynn. Boyd in front of DeBarro. I think they're looking like they're going back to our original lineup here. They're going to go back to 2 wide, but the original lineup. Bunch of bent sheet metal on several cars. Lights go off on the pace truck. That means it is time to go back to racing. 35 laps still remaining. Green flag in the air. Casey Miller. Good start on the bottom down there. Reuter going to grab second. Now Cohan and Hinker side by side. Cohan takes spot. Boyd and Hinker side by side. Boyd on the bottom, got the nose inside, touches Cohan, that opens the door. Hinker goes by. Williams goes by. Now Hinker and Cohan contact. Hinker way out of shape. A lot of contact. Close quarters racing on a tiny little bull ring like this. You're going to have that. Cohan able to get away from these guys. He's got third. Hinker gets bounced around by Gerlach. Nah, it wasn't Gerlach. It was Robert Lynn. Robert Lynn on the bottom. Got Hinker. Now to Barrow and Hinker side by side. Off the corner, starting to get things sorted out just a little bit. Reuter at the front around Casey Miller. He's got the point. Cohan is third. Boyd is fourth. Lynn is fifth. Here comes Gerlach on the top side. Now goes to the bottom, trying to take fifth away. Robert Lynn hanging tough through the middle on the outside. DeBarro got to the back end of the 71. Watch these two go at it a little bit here. Now DeBarro falls in behind. Still single file through the top 6. They're getting around here extremely fast. Reuter. 1.1 seconds out in front of Casey Miller. Cohan another second behind that. Now Robert Lynn getting around Garrett Boyd. He's got fourth. Boyd trying to fight back. Lynn going after Cohan. He's going to move him up the hill. Boyd's going to try to take advantage of that situation. Robert Lynn straight coming forward. Little contact there with Cohan. It was 1.6 seconds for Reuter. Reuter starting to get away from these guys. Going to be in lap traffic pretty soon here as Bill Coy right on the same straightaway with him. And Coy kind of running a odd-shaped line, but Reuter gonna look to the inside. He goes by Casey Miller. Now we'll have to deal with that. Lynn to the top side. He's still got third. Boyd is fourth. Here comes Cohan. DeBarro. Then Bueller. Gerlach's falling back to the field. He's back to 8th. Hinker 9th. Chambrone is 10th. Heck of a battle brewing here from third on back as Boyd got around Robert Lynn for the third spot. Now Cohan's working by Lynn. Now Lynn able to take it back. DeBarro on the high side. He's going to try to go 3 wide between Lynn and Cohan. Got Cohan, couldn't get to Lynn, so DeBarro is 5th and caution. Trevor Hinker, the 24 car, there with Bueller. Oh, and the sandwich between Robert Mueller and Coy. Oh, now gets a little help from Ryan Williams. as he got trapped in behind the lap car, and he is sitting on top of John Boer's car. You see your leader come into 2, sees the parking lot, slams on the brakes. And we will go back towards the front. It's still Reuter, Miller, then it's Boyd, Lynn, DeBarro, Cohan, Bueller, Gerlach, Chambrone, Mueller, Hinker. Williams' car off the track. Williams' car back on the track. And then Bill Coy rounded out the field. So Joe Reuter up at the front. We got to talk to him on the podium last week. So lights off on the pace truck. They'll get 2 by 2, 20 laps to go. Halfway home. Reuter, Miller, Boyd, Lynn, the top 4. Then DeBarro and Cohan in the 3rd row. Reuter back on the gas. Didn't quite get as good a start as I anticipated that he might, but he is going to have the lead out of 2. Miller now got his hands full as Boyd is going right through the middle. No grip on the exit. That time Miller banks it off the turn 1 fence. That allows Boyd to get alongside. Boyd had the sticky stuff on the bottom, tried to rock it by. He's going to stay side by side. Boyd scored 2nd that lap. Miller is 3rd. Lynn now working the high side, and DeBarro is trying to get there. So Lynn and Miller off the top side. That time Boyd thought about closing the door on Miller. Couldn't quite get there. It's going to open things up down the backstretch. We're going to be 2 wide, 2 deep from 3rd through about 6th here. Lynn just looking for an opening. Miller now riding the fence down to the backstretch. Boyd trying to keep the car square. He gives up 2nd. He may give up 3rd to Lynn as Lynn banks it off the fence. DeBarro gets a piece of the door. Move Boyd into 3rd. Lynn now 3 wide on top. Bueller's on the bottom. DeBarro's in the middle. That may not work for very long. If anybody makes a mistake, there's one from Lynn. He banks it off the fence. Still 3 wide. They've stayed 3 wide for the whole lap. Now Bueller goes up the hill in front of DeBarro. Thought about closing the door on Lynn. Couldn't make it happen. Watching the battle shape up right here. This is for 4th and 5th. Bueller and Lynn giving chase. I think Boyd was going after Miller. He couldn't quite get there, but he was able to get back in line, keep it tight. Go back here. These two not done with each other yet. We're going to get to 10 to go this time by. Your leader already in 3 and 4 now. Out of turn 4 up on the front stretch. And Lynn starting to get away from Bueller. Here comes Gerlach. 71 car on the top side. He's going to go around Bueller.
All right, man.
Caution. Bill Coy. Coy out of shape, getting the car down on the bottom, trying to stay out of the leader's way. Oh, tried to take it in the pits, and that's just a really tight entrance right there. And that's what's going to bring out the caution. She tried to go in the pits and hit the tractor tire. So things will settle down, at least momentarily. As we'll go to the front. Reuter, Miller, Boyd, Lynn, Bueller, Gerlach, DeBarro, Cohan, Chambrone, Williams, the top 10. Then Boyce, John Borst, Trevor Hinker, Robert Bueller through 13th. Bill Coy's car done for the evening. J.J. Schilling in the chat. So should be single file for our restart. An advantage for Reuter. He's on the throttle, green flags in the air. Miller got away pretty good. Boyd got Robert Lynn right on the backside of him. Into 3 and 4, 9 laps to go this time, make it 8. Ryan Buehler still in the 5th spot, and then Gerlach, DeBarro, and Cohan. Teammates in a line. There's the other teammate, Chambrone, right in that tune. Chambrone's at the bottom. Go back to the front. Casey Miller's going to have his hands full here in just a moment on the inside and possibly on the outside as Lynn starting to make some hay around the top side. Miller right through the middle, and he is able to hang on to 3rd place for the moment. 5 to go this time around. Reuter just too strong tonight. He's getting away from everybody right here. Miller little sideways. That lets Boyd put the nose on the inside down the backstretch. Can Boyd hold the 21 car in line? He couldn't get to the exit. 4 to go for Reuter. Way out in front. 2nd and a 3rd. Best battle on the track right here for 2nd and 3rd. Then 4th and 5th behind that, Buehler and Lynn. As Buehler got around both Gerlach and Lynn to move himself into that spot. Miller trying to hold on. He's staying right in the middle of the track, and Boyd is really going to the bottom. Trying to get that 21 car around the 05, just not quite there yet. As Reuter streaking away, and he's going to get the white flag out of turn number 4. 1 lap to go. Only real battle on the track is right here. Miller trying to hold off Boyd on the final lap, but Joe Reuter will win tonight. PRO Sidewinder Dirt Series Pro Late Models at I55. Miller hangs on for 2nd, and Boyd is 3rd. Robert Lynn, Josh Gerlach, Ryan Buehler. They settled that all out at the line. So we'll get our top 3 around here. We will talk to our drivers on the podium. Let some of these guys kind of clear the track here. Garrett Boyd, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, podium finish this evening. Can't hurt you in the points with an 8-point lead over, I believe it was Gerlach coming in, and he finished a little ways behind you, so you'll pick up a few there. But Joe Reuter closing things up a little bit, man. Tell us about the feature.
After the whatever happened on the initial start, the steering was bent a little bit, so it made the car a little bit tighter than what it was in the heat race. So had to battle that most of the race, and then it kind of turned into one lane, follow the leader.
Yeah, it looked like the track kind of changed, from what you guys did in the heat races when they reset right there, and or when you guys came out and worked the track down. But it didn't look like it really went away until the end. How long was the grip able to stick around, especially down there in the middle where you guys were all running at?
There was nothing in the middle. It was just kind of it was kind of weird because you couldn't run the bottom, but the middle felt the best, and it carried the most momentum. Oddly enough, that the top didn't come in and dominate the whole race, which was what I was kind of thinking it was going to do, but it surprisingly it didn't.
What an awesome run, man. Who you got on the car helping you out?
I got to thank Parkinson Foundation of Oklahoma, 18 Electric, Grand Garage, and I think that's it.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Same track, same car, just a different series.
Yeah, it'll be open setup, so we won't have to deal with iRacing's ridiculous gearing.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Cowboy finishes 3rd tonight. Let's move on. We'll talk to Casey Miller now. The sprint car race starting to get the podium finishes down here in the late models. Casey Miller, you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Man, it looks like you're improving every week in this Fender car here. Tell us about your feature tonight.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't expect to run good at all. Kind of suck in these cars. I like the sprint cars, but yeah, it felt good to get a good run here. Once the top went away, I really didn't know where to go, so I just kind of rode the middle for most of the feature. I always kind of felt lost in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 I always kind of felt pretty good. I lost the lead to Joe early, but was able to maintain second and have a good battle with, I forget who was behind me, but yeah, we had a good battle.
Well, what makes it weird is, you had such a bad week here last week in the sprint cars, and that's your jam, shall we say. And you come out here in the late model, which you freely admitted you're not very good at. I mean, put on a great show. You led a little bit and bring this thing home second. How hard was it to hold off Boyd there at the end?
Oh, it was pretty hard. I knew he was coming. I could see him there on my inside, peeking his nose a while. I just knew I had to kind of keep on the top on him, because as long as I could kind of stay above him, I feel like as long as I didn't mess up, I could have kept the position. But yeah, it was a good, hard-fought battle to finish second here.
Well, an awesome run, man. Give us some shout-outs before we let you get out of here.
Longley Racing and shoplongleymracing.com to get your merchandise, and that's all I got.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep, see ya.
Casey Miller, he finishes second, and we're going to move on. We are going to talk to a guy who is starting to make a regular appearance on top of the podium, at least up on the podium. I think this is a couple of weeks in a row. He got here in the sprint car, and he's here again tonight in the late model. Joe Reuter, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, Roger.
Like I was saying, man, you're making pretty regular appearances getting in here and chatting with us, man. Tell us about the feature tonight.
I got pretty lucky. Got to redraw outside pole, which never really happens. Got around Casey there pretty early and just tried to ride around the middle of the track.
Yeah, it looked like the track changed quite a bit. I talked to Boyd about it. He said there wasn't a whole lot of grip in the middle, but the car was the most comfortable riding through there. Not a ton of damage, just a little bit of right rear, and I think that came from maybe a couple of trips up close to the fence there. Most comfortable for you in the middle right there, or just a little bit nervous about how thin that cushion gets?
I just found a little bit during practice that I wasn't much faster trying to, cruise around the wall there. So I just decided, I got a little bit of a lead here. I'm going to ride around in the middle. There was some traction coming off the corners. So I just kind of made sure to hit those spots, and I was able to come away with the win.
Well, that should help you with the overall points and a little bit here in the late model points to close that 12-point gap up on Garrett Boyd. What do you think about taking a week off and then coming right back to the late models?
Looking forward to the late models. Last week here in the sprint cars, I did not have a very good time. Got wrecked a couple times and took a big hit in the points. So I was glad to get back in the late model. Looking forward to getting in the late model again next race at Charlotte. It's the double points night, so I got to make sure to run up front as close as I can and not take a huge hit in the points, and kind of put us in position to finish off the season strong.
All right, man, some shout-outs, some thank yous, and it'll be your turn to go celebrate.
All right, I want to thank Andrew Engels this week. He got my tires right. I mean, those things were old and bald, and he said, you know what, give them to me and I will make them fast. So big shout out to him. Shout out to GSR. My teammate Ryan got 5th tonight. He had a good run. Trevor, I saw, got caught up in a wreck, and I'm not sure where Rob finished, but always good to race with those guys. And shout out to my mom and my dad and my grandma that's watching at home.
All right, man, thanks for chatting with us, and we'll see you in a couple weeks in Charlotte.
All right, thanks, Roger.
Joe Reuter winning tonight's feature. Let's take a look at the standings, or at the finishing order for the evening. Reuter, Miller, Boyd, your top three. Then Lynn in 4th. Gerlach was 5th. Bueller 6th. Nick Cohan 7th. DeBarro 8th. Chevron was 9th. Ryan Williams in 10th. John Borst 11th. Trevor Hinker, Robert Mueller, and Bill Coy 12th through 14th. Another pretty good show. These guys put it together just about every time we see them and do a great job with it. Always fun to have them on. Off next week, and then they're back. at Charlotte with the late models again. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. Lucas Smith Chrysler Center's I55 Weekly Series featuring the Pro late models. You'll see a lot of the guys you saw tonight. All right, back on track again tomorrow night. Should have Zach Krieger and Dominic Santina in the booth. At least one of them, if not both of them. And then Thursday night, the Indy Race Parts Sprint Car Series. They only got a couple races left in that series, and that'll wrap up our week. So, for Zach Krieger, Dominic Santina, and myself here at the Dirt Racing Network, we know you guys can watch this stuff anywhere you choose to watch it here with us. We hope you enjoyed the show.